Jones off. Let's talk about the Yankees not calling up Spencer Jones. And I'm sure there's a lot of outrage over this, and it's not really justified because, in my opinion, Spencer Jones was not going to make the Yankees opening day roster as soon as Trent Grisham accepted that qualifying offer. And you can't really blame the Yankees for offering Trent Grisham that qualifying offer, because if he doesn't accept the qualifying offer, they get a free draft pick. $20 million is not a bad price to pay for Trent Grisham, given that he's a lefty, good hitter, provides power, Gold Glove fielder. There's no reason to not give Trent Grisham that qualifying offer if you're going to get a draft pick when he doesn't take it. The Yankees have Cody Bellinger. The Yankees have Trent Grisham. The Yankees have Aaron Judge. The Yankees have Jason Dominguez, and the Yankees have Giancarlo Stanton. There's not really room on the roster for Spencer Jones. I don't know why it says Randall Grichuk is going to be on the roster on Fangraphs. I don't think that's the case. But if that does end up happening, as crazy as it sounds, there is kind of a justification for it. Even though from a baseball perspective, you'd obviously rather have Spencer Jones than Randall Grichuk. The defense for it is that Spencer Jones is a player who should be starting, and in AAA he will start. The fact of the matter is, if Spencer Jones starts in the major leagues this year, he struck out 174 times in AA and AAA last year. He struck out 200 times in AA the season before that. He will strike out more than 200 times if he starts games in the major leagues this year. And like we've seen with young players time and again, Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells, even Jason Dominguez, players struggle to deal with the grind. Young players struggle to deal with the grind of a 162-game season if they've never played a season of that length before. The most games that Spencer Jones has ever played is, I believe, 124 at AA. And, you know, with young players like that, especially a young player like Spencer Jones, who is going to swing for the fences and is going to strike out a lot, you're going to have these long lulls in the middle of the season where they just don't produce anything at all. And you see that time and time again with struggling young players in the middle of a season in the dog days of summer. It's, you know, something that other teams have to deal with actually a lot more than the Yankees do, because other teams are so much more willing to, you know, see what they have with young players sooner, which is, I get the main criticism here of the Spencer Jones situation, but I think the Yankees do kind of know what they have with Spencer Jones. That's what I'm saying. I think the Yankees want to let Spencer Jones be an injury replacement when someone gets hurt later in the year. They want to bring him up to the major leagues into major league starting playing time because they believe he's that kind of player. So as strange as it is, in this kind of weird way, not calling up Spencer Jones actually shows that the Yankees think higher of him, which is strange, but I think that's actually how I think of it. It shows that they're waiting for an injury to an outfielder to have Spencer Jones come up and potentially replace that player, Cody Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, knock on wood. I mean, knock on wood for all of them. But they actually will count on Spencer Jones to replace part of that player's production, and that's clearly not the case with Randall Grichuk, right? Randall Grichuk is a bench player. But, you know, I expect to see outrage over it, and, you know, there has been, because the Yankees are kind of an old team right now. The Yankees have an old bullpen. If we had our entire healthy starting rotation, every pitcher in the starting rotation would be over 30, I believe, except for the fifth starter, so either Cam Schlittler or Luis Heel. Yeah, I mean, you know, Aaron Judge is 33, Cody Bellinger is almost 31, Stanton's 36, McMahon is 31. And then, of course, in the rotation, if it were healthy, you would have Fried, who's 32, Cole 33, Rodon 33, Schmidt 30. So there's plenty of young pitchers in the rotation right now, technically at least, but they would get squeezed out if our actual, you know, starters came back from injury. We would have a very old rotation, and the bullpen is also very old. Yarbrough 34, Blackburn 33, Bird 30, Tim Hill 36, Fernando Cruz 36. So the Yankees do need to get younger, and I understand that it's a concern people have and that they want to see Spencer Jones up because the Yankees need to get younger. But all I'm trying to say is that, you know, calm down. That's something you're going to get over the course of a 162-game season. I would expect to see Spencer Jones starting games for the New York Yankees for, you know, multiple months of this year. I would be surprised if it doesn't happen, because that means that there was no, you know, significant outfield injury. And, you know, honestly, that's a good thing. That's not something to complain about. I've seen it time and time again that, you know, the Yankees will keep you in AAA until you're damn near 30. And that's really unfortunate. It's something that needs to stop. And, you know, it's actually a good thing that Spencer Jones is the fifth outfielder in an outfield full of, honestly, previously injury prone or relatively injury prone outfielders who, you could expect to miss time over the course of a season. So I think we're going to see plenty of Spencer Jones as Yankee fans. I think there's bigger things to worry about as Yankee fans in terms of the roster. I think the Yankees infield is pretty awful. I think the infield depth is also pretty awful. Obviously I love Jazz. I don't mind the first base platoon, but again, the left side of the infield to me is still a problem. I don't care if the defense is solid on paper or how much WAR Anthony Volpe and Ryan McMahon produce. It's an analytics department left side of the infield. I think that any Yankee fan off the top of their head could immediately construct a better left side of the infield out of current major league players than the one that we have. But sadly, Spencer Jones can't play third base, so we can't have the best of both worlds. Peace out, like, and subscribe for more baseball content. I'll be back on the next one. Let me know what you guys think about Spencer Jones, and if you think Spencer Jones should make the team, and who or how you would get any of these players off the team, because I don't know how you would get one of Grisham, Bellinger, or Stanton off the roster to make room for Spencer Jones. Because again, I don't think Randall Grichuk is actually going to make the team. Okay, like and subscribe. Peace out. I'll see you on the next one.